Salve. Anyways, we're going to talk about why so many people turn to religion or things like that. If they have, PTSD, alcoholism, some sort of other drug addiction, because alcohol is a drug. So, anyways, I think this is an interesting way, because it's like if you're in quicksand. So it's a lot like you're in quicksand. Like, if you're in quicksand and you struggle on your own, you tend to get deeper and deeper into the quicksand. You know what I mean? It doesn't really, it's really difficult to get out. And even if you grab like a vine, some sort of lifeline, like a vine or like a twig or, like a friggin' branch, it always breaks. So, you know what I mean? That's just kind of how it is. And it breaks, and you're right back in to where you were before. So it's like kind of like that in a way. And it's like, so, and then if you turn to people, like people, you might see stuff on TV or people, but they're pretty fake. Like for the most part, they're going to ditch you, and they're not really going to, they don't want to deal with you. So like if you're on like online, they'll just block you, because that's another thing, like all these online sites, it's so easy to block people, so people just block people, you know what I mean? They don't want to deal with you, they don't care about you. And then it's like, the best is like they'll post stuff about talking how they block people, and it's like, well, the people you block probably can't see that, so who is that to? I mean, that's just to yourself. So it's like, you kind of want someone you can believe in, even if you can't see them. So, when you reach out to other people, most people are going to ditch you, they're going to pretend to care, they're not really, you know what I mean? But if people just talk to you, engage like normally, it'd be a lot better. But if people communicated, then we wouldn't have all these devices, because you could be in like a room full of people, but they'll be on these freaking devices, and it's like, you know what I mean? Even in a room full of people, it's easy to be totally alone. So, people want, so it's like they turn to something. So if they believe like in God or some sort of religion, it's like they feel like somebody's helping them out of quicksand, like someone's giving them that helping hand. Because, if someone helps you out, it's a lot easier, you know what I mean? If you're in quicksand and someone's giving you the hand to pull you out, you know what I mean? Maybe you'll pull them in with you. That's like the big thing. And then two of you are in quicksand, you sink together. That's when you get into like codependency and stuff like that. But basically it's like, people just, it's like a bit of a pattern, like an endless pattern in some ways. So it's like, you'll be doing pretty good, and then something usually beyond your control happens. So it's like, say you were doing pretty good, and then you might get rear-ended in a car accident. Or, maybe the FBI shows up at your house. Maybe the police show up at your house. Maybe there's a fire where your house burns down. Maybe you get a flat tire. Like last time I went to get gas, I remember I hadn't gone anywhere like in the whole year. So I go to get gas, I go in my car, and like the ceiling actually was like hanging down a little bit. So I didn't even realize. So whatever I did, all of a sudden I pulled the whole ceiling down. So the whole top of the car thing was pulled down. So to get gas, my whole ceiling's pulled down. I go to get gas, I'm covered in the crap, and it's just like, you can't win. And then if you do it with the Honda place, Honda's a lot more money. So then you got to find the people that are going to reupholster it. So it's like, you know what I mean? I barely go anywhere. I didn't do anything, and all of a sudden the top of my car friggin' falls. So I could see it was like hanging down, and I don't even know if I realized it, and boom. So you know what I mean? So that's something out of your control. You're about to go to the bathroom, the FBI shows up at your house. They say you uploaded some sort of video. Maybe you wrote something on Yelp, and then like the next thing you know, 3 cops are at your house because somebody ripped you off selling you a TV, a Samsung TV that the HDCP doesn't work, and they know it doesn't work, or it was a knockoff, you know what I mean? And you look at their Yelp, like let's say it's, I don't know, like some camera place, like Beach Camera in New Jersey or something like that, some random place like that, a name, and then you're seeing like people ordered like, they ordered like all sorts of things and they didn't even ship it. Like someone ordered a drone, they didn't put the drone in the box, they sent them a box without the drone, and they're ready to call the police. These people, like the first ones to call the police and use the police on you. You mean the people that break the law are the first people to use the law or the authority against you. So it's like if you got religion, you got God, you kind of feel like someone's in your corner, you pray to them, you can't see them, you can't touch them, you can't feel them, you can't really do anything, so it's kind of like, it's like a weird, like they're there whenever you want them to be there, they listen to you whenever you want them to listen to you. It's like you kind of feel like some sort of a hope. And then, sometimes you're going to church, when you used to be able to go to church and stuff like that, you might meet somebody that has a like-minded thing. So like it kind of gives you a new addiction in many ways. You know what I mean? Like that's why like a lot of these rehab places, when I would watch them on TV, like these celebrity rehabs, it's like what the hell? You let these people smoke cigarettes and stuff. That's so stupid. So it's like they're addicted to something, then you have them smoking cigarettes where you get addicted to nicotine and stuff. You know what I mean? One drop of pure nicotine would kill you or whatever it was. You know, I got like 110 on my smoking thing, and they have like tar from the streets and all this other stuff, and like it makes your cilia go down and all this crap goes in. So it's like, you know, they trade one problem for another problem, because the other problem doesn't really give you any joy. It doesn't give you any euphoria. So they're like, you know what? We might as well let them have this one, because it just ruins their life and it makes us a lot of money, because they end up on, you know, they end up with cancer or other type of stuff. So you mean it's like kind of like you're looking through the tunnel and you see like a little bit of light, but you can't really get to that light. And no matter what you do, something always happens. And then, you know what I mean, you're like right back where you thought, you know what I mean, you're like right back where you were. So it's like, you know, so that's why a lot of people turn to that, because it's like people let you down, people block you, people give you up on you. And even if somebody helps you, it's very easy to pull them into the quicksand with you. And to pull yourself out of the quicksand, which is really the best way to do it, there's a lot of things beyond your control that knock you back into the quicksand. Or, you know, the vine, you're pulling yourself out, you're almost out, you're like, you know, you're waist deep, you're getting out, and all of a sudden, boom, you're back, and it's back over your head again. Then maybe you'll get down, you're almost out, you're crawling out. The next thing you know, you're back in. You slide back in. You just can't get up that mountain, you can't get up that obstacle, you can't get up that hill. So I mean, yeah, it's a lot of things like that, because when you tell people certain things, they'll freak out. They might even call you, they might even report you and stuff. So it's like, you can't really be honest with people anymore. And then one day, someone's dead, and it's like, wow, why didn't he tell anyone? Well, you know what, if he told anyone, what, are they going to lock his Facebook account? Because like, if you say the wrong thing on Facebook with that, they'll lock your Facebook account. I think I had my Facebook account locked like 3 to 5 times. One of them was more like one of my dogs died. Smokey died. So I was just telling people that he died. That's why I hadn't been online in a while. And I sent so many of the same messages about him being dead that they actually locked my account. And I'm thinking, you know what I mean? Here you are in distress, you're having trouble with this, and then you got another thing. Then I remember, like, I was having internet trouble recently, and like they replaced like my modem, and they gave me like a router, like a, the cable company's brand router, because they want you to use their router, I think, so they just do this. Because my thing was flashing yellow. All this time I was having like a yellow flashing light instead of green flashing light for at least a year. Then you go to log into like your Google account or your Gmail account or whatever account, and now it's like they're blocking you from going into your own account. They claim an unknown device. So it's like now you got like a whole nother thing that's going to worry you, because and then luckily you were able, because it's like now, say you go to do the retrieve email, all your emails could have the same thing, because they're all going to detect a new device, and they could all lock you out of your own account. So it's like even if you have your password, it can lock you out of your own account. I remember I was having trouble with Amazon. Every time I logged on to Amazon, they wanted me to go into my insecure email to say that it was okay to log into the Amazon. And like, I asked them if there's anything they could do about it, and they did. But now it's like, I'm nervous about trying to go into my Amazon account, because I'm like, are they going to say I have a new device, just like when I went into the Gmail, into the Google account? So, you know what I mean? So then this stuff creates like more stress for you. So luckily, it let me do the recovery, the clue and the word, and it asks you like a question. And then even though it asks you a question like, geez, what if I put something else? What if I did this? What if I just did I just do that one name? Did I add this name? You know what I mean? So it just gives you all these new things. So it's like, every time you think you're getting over something and you're doing better, a new thing happens, and you're knocked down, and you're another day behind, you're another hour behind, you're another thing behind. You know what I mean? So it's like almost like an endless cycle. So it's really difficult to get out of the quicksand on your own. So that's why so many people, that's why they turn to religion, or they might even turn to drugs, or they might turn to other stuff. They might turn to porn and stuff. Whatever floats your boat. Most people have a better view of a religion than other things, but does religion really help you? Does believing in something really help you? You know what I mean? You can't really see it. It's not really a real thing. It's not like a tangible thing where you're going to touch something and feel something in many ways. So it kind of like fills your thing, because it's like you got to fill that emptiness with something. I mean, most people want to try to get love, but it's really, if you could get love, then you probably wouldn't be having these problems in the first place. And then you might have a 4 on your birthday, you might have a 4 on the day you were born, you might have a 4 in the house that you would think. A lot of people, like I know, like that, from watching anime, they think that's like a really bad thing. And that's another thing, you have censorship. It's like you can't even say or express how you really feel, because if you say something, they try to twist it and turn it into something it is. You're like, oh, well, they say, well, that's a threat, or they say, oh, well, that's a thing. Like, if you just say if something happens, it's not going to be pretty. Well, you know what? It might not. It might be an accurate description. People turn that into a threat. They'll be like, oh, and there's nothing you can do. People will turn that into a threat. So it's like, you know what I mean? Then people will be like, well, why would I do that? I have so much to lose. Well, if that was true, then the people that were rich would never be drug addicts. They would never have any problems. You know what I mean? There would be no issues. There wouldn't be any domestic arrests and stuff. You know what I mean? There wouldn't be any battering each other. There wouldn't be Chris Brown and Rihanna. There wouldn't be stuff like that. So the people that have the most tend to get away with the most because they're able to bypass the law, because they have the money to bypass the law and keep the law from taking them or getting them. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's definitely, you know, if people are dependable, then people wouldn't depend. They wouldn't turn to other things. But you know, despite what people say, they're not really going to stick with you. You know, those who wish to care cast not but a cold stare. And yeah, I don't know how much longer this. I think this is already done. I think the recording for this is already done, but I don't really know. Let's see. We got an idea. Oh wow, this thing's still recording. That's pretty cool. You see how I do that with the light? And now the light's shining in a little bit. Well, maybe that'll shine into your life. Maybe things will work out. Maybe the sun will come out. The sun will come out tomorrow type of thing. But this is one of my longest recordings, and yeah, hopefully people see it.